wait. Get tickets at twins.com.
The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Posse wants you. Serve with a dedicated volunteer citizens group assisting law enforcement for search and rescue, natural disasters, and missing persons. On horseback, motorized vehicles, or foot patrol, they provide any assistance needed. Training and equipment are provided. Join the posse now and be a part of something special in Otter Tail County. Find them on Facebook or contact the Sheriff's Department for more information.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Tuesday morning. It is 10 after 9 and hopefully a calm day today. 61 right now.
Yeah, it wasn't so calm last night. Oh my goodness! I showed Dave some pictures of our lakefront, and we were lucky at our house, but next door, a pontoon on sea legs kind of came up on one side. It sort of just tipped to the side, so I think it's okay. But then two more cabins down, the pontoon and the canopy and the whole works flipped upside down. So it can happen very close to you, and then your place you get nothing.
Yeah,
and we have this very same equipment, the canopy and the everything.
Well, when it comes to sea legs, how close you are to the ground.
Well, and that makes a difference where how far off the water you keep your boat. Because when the waves start, I don't know what the magic number is, because if it's really wavy, that wave action under the boat, you don't want it too high.
But if it's up too high, the wind gets underneath.
Right, and so yeah, it just depends on the weather, what's coming, and you don't always know that. And I don't think we thought it was supposed to be as significant.
It was not supposed to be a bad weather night, and where you're at never went severe. No,
and I kept looking for warnings, because all of a sudden it got really kind of weird looking out there.
The only severe warning was south of Fergus, kind of on the Otter Tail Grant line, and then into Grant County a little bit. That was it, and it was in effect for maybe half hour.
Yeah.
I mean, they canceled it 15 minutes before.
Right, and so we weren't really anticipating anything, and then you can just tell when the sky gets that weird yellowy green the next thing that's going to happen is hail. And I bet it hailed for maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
We didn't get any hail here.
Coming. And it was, pea size, maybe a little bit bigger, but it just wouldn't stop. It just kept coming. And it was just kind of a weird, eerie night out there. But anyway, and winds seemed to come from every direction. Pretty soon, first of all the waves were out of the south, and pretty soon this pouring, driving rain was hitting the north windows. So it was almost like it was swirling around. And
that's never good.
No. And so anyway, we must have had some gusts of some pretty high winds. It didn't feel like, looking out there, it didn't feel like a lot of wind, but maybe when it's straight from the west, it hits us from the side of our cabin. So there's a lot of other cabins to the west of us that act as a little bit of protection. So, and the way that everything blew over, clearly it was coming directly out of the west. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't, as I drove along the lake on my way in this morning, I didn't see any other damage other than a few leaves, a branch here and there. But other than that, two pontoons on our side, and that's
I didn't see any
it.
damage in Fergus because we came out for severe weather coverage. Problem was it was such a fast storm. By the time we got out here, it was pretty much done.
Right. Well, I kept looking at the Fergus Now app, and I thought, well, I kept looking for warnings, and there wasn't such a thing, and so didn't really expect what came last night. But anyway, so hopefully nobody else had any damage. I mean, you hate to see people's boats and stuff go over.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, it's a headache to get them back upright.
Yep.
And then the damage that it's more than likely done.
Yeah.
You know, to that kind of stuff, and nobody loves that. It's just a hassle. I always feel so badly because not only is it expensive and the hassle of insurance and all that sort of thing, but then your insurance, of course, goes up. We pay and pay and pay, and then you actually use your insurance,
and
then you pay more. Yeah, and so nobody wants to do that if they don't have to. And it's relatively impossible, you know, like for two people to go out there and right that ship. I mean, they need help. They need people who know how to do that.
Yeah.
So then it's who do you call? And anyway, so I just my heart goes out to people when they have that kind of stuff happen. And granted, everybody's safe, and so that's good. But anyway, it was a little unnerving there for just a bit last night. So. Thankfully, my neighbor and I had teamed up, and we got the mowing done. And while she was finishing one lawn, I was over at her house putting all of her plants away, and tipping over her chairs and tables and all that kind of stuff. And then she's good enough to let me park in her garage, which is really great. And so we do our storm prep kind of. And last night, usually when we do that, nothing happens. So we always say, hey, we're just doing this to save the neighborhood. But it actually did come to pass last night, and we got wind, and we got about 10 minutes worth of hail. So anyway, lots worse things could have happened for sure. Well, this has to be one of a kind. A president that says, that's it, I'm taking back Washington, D.C., We're going to make this place safe again. This is ridiculous. And he has the power to do that.
Yep.
And he has done it. Okay, so whether you agree with him or not, you kind of have to give him high marks for saying, you know what? I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Let's cut it off. This cannot go on any longer. And he's doing something about it.
Yeah.
And he said to other cities across the country, listen, if you don't take hold of your cities, I'm coming for you next. He announced that the federal government will assume control of law enforcement in Washington, D.C., including deploying the National Guard, which is happening as we speak. Trump signed an executive order declaring crime an emergency in the nation's capital. Federal agents led by the U.S. Park Police will enforce crime in the city. Attorney General Pam Bondi will oversee the D.C. Metropolitan Police. So, and I saw an interview with a D.C. policeman, and I can't remember if it was, a captain or a sergeant or who it was, but he said, we need more help in this city. And hey, if the National Guard wants to be the guys to come and help us, we'll take it.
Yeah.
So they're sick of it too. And I think like everywhere else in the country, they're sick of, picking people up, and then they go through the court system, and then you're out.
Yeah,
and
I mean, the main thing they need better prosecutors.
Well, something has to change
and
for
judges.
Sure. And we're seeing that all over the place.
Seeing it here in town.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know why when criminals do crime, they don't go to jail. But that doesn't seem the way it goes anymore.
No.
And I don't know what to attribute that to.
Judges and prosecutors.
I guess. Well, anyway, I don't know what the National Guard can do with regard to, once they get into the courtroom, but...
And one thing that I think people often forget, I didn't know about it until I heard about it in the news, is that's kind of how Washington, D.C. was run. It was run by the president and the Senate until the 70s. And they passed some laws and let, them come up with their own mayor and all that stuff. But up until then, that's who ran D.C. It's a district.
Right. Well, he's running it again. Yeah. And anyway... So the National Guard will be in place, I believe, as early as today. And anyway, but I thought it was interesting that the D.C. police said, you know what, we could really, really use the help. And if it's the National Guard, that's great. We'll take it. So evidently they see a need for it.
Yep.
And the homeless problem in D.C. is out of control. And often homelessness sort of begets the whole drug problem.
Yep.
Oftentimes, that is the reason that they become homeless in the first place, is because all the money is going to the drugs.
Drugs and alcohol, yeah.
Yeah. And
Sad.
so, and then anytime you have that, there is the potential for crime because
They
you
need
got to
money.
have the drugs, right? It's just a vicious circle. Let's see what else we have for you today. There was an explosion at a U.S. steel plant near Pittsburgh, resulted in 1 fatality and 2 missing individuals, and I believe they have found one of the two to make 2 fatalities. I believe I heard that on my way in today. At least 9 other are hospitalized. This happened on Monday. Emergency workers are diligently searching for the debris for other potential victims. The incident at the Clark Coke Works sent plumes of black smoke into the sky in the Mon Valley, a region historically associated with steel production. So at this point, I think they don't really know what caused the explosion. I did hear a press conference briefly this morning that said they had recently been checked out for all necessary safety measures and seemed like everything was in place. So no word, at least yet, on what caused that explosion. A New York judge rejected the federal government's request to unseal grand jury records in Ghislaine Maxwell's case, stating that the request would not provide new significant information. The Justice Department sought to unseal evidence while protecting personal data, citing special circumstances. Maxwell, convicted of sex trafficking charges in December of 2021, is currently serving a 20-year sentence, to which I hope she has to do each and every minute.
Each and every minute, and I just don't want to hear anything more about Epstein.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
Maxwell.
Okay, so what's happening now in D.C., the president calling in the National Guard and taking over the police department and all that. Now, of course, all of the Democrats are calling this, they just want to say, look over here. They say they're causing a distraction from the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. I'm so sick to death of the Jeffrey Epstein thing. And what we could say to the Democrats is, well, how come you didn't handle this
When
the
you were
last
in
few
charge.
years? Yeah. So, I mean, same thing was out there. They didn't.
Yeah.
They could have gone after it and didn't. But now that Trump is in charge, now they want to, cause trouble. Let's see. Kim Davis, the infamous former Kentucky county clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, has filed a petition with the Supreme Court seeking to overturn the landmark decision that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. Legal experts view Davis's appeal as a long shot, with lower courts dismissing her claims. The Supreme Court is expected to consider Davis's petition this fall. And as much as I'd like to say, stick with it, I hate to say it's a super big uphill battle, don't you think?
Yeah, it's a done deal at this point.
Yeah, I think so too. And Ford Motor Company, this is a bit surprising, has announced a nearly $2 billion investment to retool its Kentucky factory to electric vehicle production. Well, you and I both say that, and a lot of people who live in outstate Minnesota with regard to electric vehicles say, because it just doesn't work all that well for us here in outstate Minnesota.
But I mean, it works fine in the south, maybe in the metro, but out here when it's cold, those batteries die quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it's hot and you have to turn off your AC in order to get to your destination without running out of battery. I mean, I panic when my phone gets down to 20%. I would really panic if I was in a car. But anyway, so it kind of surprises me, but the move actually aims to create more affordable and profitable electric vehicles, which that has been one of their hurdles. They're very expensive. They're very expensive to fix. Anyway, the first electric pickup truck is set to roll off the assembly line in 2027. Now, Ford has already had the Ford Lightning, so there is one out there.
Yeah.
But this one has lower cost batteries produced in the United States, so that's good news, at a Michigan factory. Ford's investment will secure about 2,200 hourly jobs. So there's the other good part
thing,
of that. So there are a lot of people who electric vehicles work very well for. So it's maybe not you and me. Not the way we drive just doesn't work for us. But there are a lot of people that it does work for, and I guess if you can, do that here in the United States, that's good news.
Hey, one thing I do want to mention coming up later on tonight at Speece Riverfront Park, it's Chops, Hops, and Bingo.
I saw that.
Pioneer Care is going to be there. We're going to be there. It's going to be fun. The Underwood Lions are going to be grilling up their world-famous pork chops.
Oh, they're the best, yes.
So you can actually get it through the drive-thru or just come on in and enjoy it. Upstate Brewing is going to be donating about 10% of their revenue to Pioneer Care. And then, of course, some great bingo. Everybody loves bingo.
Absolutely.
So 5 to 7:30 tonight.
And it looks like weather-wise, it's just going to be a beautiful night.
Gorgeous
for it.
night.
Yeah. So that's great. And this is, in case you didn't know, Pioneer Care has a capital campaign going on. And if you've been there has been a lot of construction going on in a lot of different areas. There will no longer be any shared rooms. There will only be private rooms.
There'll be a couple shared rooms, and they're looking for like couples in those.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I had Nathan Johnson on yesterday talking about their capital campaign.
Okay, that's great. But like, you wouldn't be in one room and an unrelated man be in
no.
In that same,
there'd just be a couple, and that would be for like specific couples, like husband,
so they're
wife.
really thinking ahead at what they're trying to build and how they're trying to expand.
Beautiful facility,
and well, I can't say enough good things about Pioneer and their care. They made the last 6 months of my mom's life, I think, happy for her, and certainly worry-free and happy for me. In fact, the last 6 months where I say that I got to take advantage of the good stuff, the good part. I didn't have to worry about the grocery shopping and taking care and making sure she didn't fall and managing her health care, and somebody else took care of all those things. And it was Pioneer, and they were so good to her and so good to me. So anyway.
Last year my dad was in the short stay unit at Pioneer Care, and obviously I know a lot of people that work there because my wife works there as well.
Yeah, right.
And I've known the CEO, Nathan Johnson, since middle school, so great guy.
Yeah, all good. All right, so that starts at what time tonight?
5 o'clock, 5 to 7:30.
Okay, looking forward to that. All right, when we come back, oh boy, a man jumps on a moving high-speed train.
Ooh.
Wonder how that went. We'll tell you about it when we come back on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Wherever you're going, we're going to the Auto Express.
Need a ride? Otter Express is there for everyone. Safe, reliable, and ready when you are. Whether it's work, school, or shopping, they've got you covered. Call today to schedule your ride with Otter Express.
998-3002. Just give us a call. Wherever you're going, we're going to the Auto Express.
At Olson Oil, delivering fuel isn't just a transaction. It's about the business and people they keep moving. It's about making sure homes and farms in our community have the propane they need year-round. It's about fueling farms during harvest. It's about showing up on time, every time, because the community depends on it. For over 30 years, Olson Oil has proudly served West Central Minnesota with propane and fuel delivery people count on. Olson Oil, fueling homes, businesses, farms, and people since 1993.
What does life on the cutting edge mean to Riley LaPinka?
Making hay has changed so much now with Harvextra alfalfa. You don't have to be tied down to a certain cutting window. That saves us a lot of headache, a lot of cost, wear and tear on machinery, you name it. It just cuts all that down.
Harvextra alfalfa with Roundup Ready technology gives you an extra edge when it comes to cutting flexibility. Hear more of Riley's story at harvextra.com.
Get the latest in ag information and market updates with the Red River Farm Network. Monday through Friday, News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
Good morning. Market update time here on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Tyler Donaldson. Grains starting out today's trade a bit lower here across the board. Soybeans down as much as double digits. S&W Trading Market Advisor Andy Schisler says the soybeans are lower following a lack of follow-through on President Trump's social media posts about China. Corn also lower ahead of this morning's supply and demand report.
They feel like we'll miss our export window because of it, and I think that's why we're nailing it here on the beans today. That's the big one, and I kind of thought yesterday would be a one-off deal off of this tariff news. And the other thing is we've got a crop report coming out here at 11 o'clock. It's like, so then we'll see what the yield's going to look like there. They're supposed to raise the corn yield about 3 bushels, beans about a half. They probably do that. I'm not sure. A lot of people are thinking it'll be more than that. I don't know that our weather's been good enough to do that. They probably want to see more final results before they jump it much. This is a yield we've never done before.
Cattle markets staying strong off the cash trade.
The cash market has not weakened. Boxed beef was not weaker last week. We pushed really hard from Friday to Thursday of last week, and then it kind of blew up after that. We had a limit down day in feeders, which I think people probably thought would fall through lower yesterday, but then it didn't. And so like today, I think we're kind of in a consolidation period here. But I felt like the August would not let it go lower because it's in delivery. And of course, those contracts started to go higher in the day yesterday early when everything else was down. And so like we may hang in here at this high price.
Reporting agriculture's business, you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Here's the latest from CHS Ag Services. Sales agronomist Trent Peterson with us from the Hallock location. Trent, we're getting into that season. What should growers know as far as desiccants?
Well, Sharpen is a great pre-harvest aid option. It provides a fast and effective control of a wide range of tough broadleaf weeds. And you're going to see visible results within hours of spraying. It's also going to speed up the dry down of weeds and certain crop plant parts, which is going to make harvest smoother and cleaner and obviously more efficient when you're helping to preserve the grain quality as well. It does not control grasses on its own, but it can be tank mixed with compatible products such as Roundup, and that'll give you your full spectrum weed control, which makes it a reliable solution and a great fit for most weed management programs. For more information on Sharpen, reach out to your local CHS sales representative.
CHS Ag Services with 20 locations in northwest Minnesota and northeast North Dakota. CHS Ag Services, providing solutions for your success.
Thanks to the American farmer for putting food on the plate, clothes on our back, and fuel in our tank. Your work is measured in acres, not hours. The Red River Farm Network is here to deliver farm news, markets, and weather information to the best farmers in the business. From Rugby to Benson and Roseau to Aberdeen, the Red River Farm Network covers agriculture. Go online to rrfn.com to find your local Red River Farm Network radio station. Podcasts are also available online at rrfn.com, iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify.
The Red River Farm Network is reporting agriculture's business with the markets, farm news, and weather information you need each and every day.
Again, hats off to you, Don, and the Red River, what you guys do, connecting your listeners to what's happening and people and telling stories. You guys are doing an awesome job at it, so thank you.
That's Greg Peterson, better known as Machine Repeat. The Red River Farm Network can be heard from Worthington to War Road, from Bismarck to Bemidji, 23 radio stations, and online at rrfn.com.
Checking quotes, September wheat Minneapolis down 1 1/4 to 5.76 1/2. Chicago September wheat 4 1/4 lower at 5.10 3/4. KC hard red winter wheat's down 3/4 cent to 5.18 1/4. September corn down 4 cents at 3.81. September soybeans down 13 cents to 9.78 3/4. In Winnipeg, November canola is down $35.10 per metric ton to 645.70 Canadian. On the cattle side, August live cattle is up 52 cents, to $33.60. August feeders up $1.17, $341.40. August hogs up 25 cents at $109.92. This is the Red River Farm Network.
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, right away hear how the Democrats reacted to Trump's police takeover of Washington, D.C. Then what does civility in politics really mean? And do we really want it? At 9:06, hear what the Tea Party Patriots National Bus Tour is all about. At 10:06, hear what wine of the week Jeff has picked out on the Westside Liquor Wine Line. And hear fellow Ox listeners' wines of the week. See you for Hot Talk with the Ox today from 2 to 5 on KBRF.
What's the ox say?
Local farmers. Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company in Fergus Falls currently has open slots and accepting animals. They take the hassle out of processing and butchering your livestock. From custom cuts to expert butchering, they handle it all with care and precision. Serving Fergus Falls of the Lakes area, they're proud to support local farmers like you. Call or visit Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company today to schedule your meat processing. Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company, where quality meets tradition on Highway 210 East.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me live every Friday on KBRFradio.com or the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. The live stream starts at 12:30 and will be available to watch after the stream ends. The KBRFradio.com weekly news recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com, memorials that matter.
Newly retired and looking for part-time work? Otter Tail Coaches of Fergus Falls is now hiring part-time bus drivers. $21.85 an hour and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply online at ottertailcoaches.com/careers.
I'm Jessica at the Fergus Falls Monument Company. I'm the first person you see when you come through the door, and I also talk to customers every day on the phone. Many of them find choosing a memorial ahead of time is convenient and works best when there is time to plan and think about it. Planning ahead not only gets you the everlasting memorial of your choice, it also helps your family through the grieving process. At Fergus Falls Monument, we can help you plan ahead and choose a memorial made right here locally. Call or stop in or visit us online at foreverstonememorials.com.
Community is important, and you'll find it at Pioneer Point. Spacious apartments, thoughtfully designed for older adults, provide the best in senior living. Heated parking and elevator access makes life easy. Your neighbors at Pioneer Point hold a welcoming, family-like approach to living. Choosing from an array of special features and options, you'll find many ways to define your lifestyle at Pioneer Point. Call or schedule your tour online today at pioneercare.org.
News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. It is 9:37, and Morning Talk brought to you this morning and every morning by our friends over at Pioneer Care and at Fergus Falls Monument. And Mary, it's going to be another beautiful day, but a smoky day.
Another smoky day, huh? Yeah. Oh boy. It seemed pretty clear this morning when we were out walking, but it's drifting this way, and winds are going to switch around to the northwest, and we're gonna be back in the smoke for the next day or two, maybe. Yuck.
Let's go to the big board.
Tonight,
tomorrow night.
So frustrating, and really seemingly no end to it.
No.
I talked to someone yesterday who has family in Canada, and they said, for all these years, they just don't put their fires out. They just
let them burn.
But sooner or later, oh my goodness, I don't know.
They got to run out of forest.
If that's possible, to just let it go, and what that does to the rest of. And it's not just us.
No.
You look from us all the way out to the East Coast.
Yeah.
New York, they're right on the edge of everything too.
Tariff the smoke.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Wouldn't that be nice if we could, have some kind of
every little micron that goes across the border.
That. Yeah, for sure. Okay, a risky stunt nearly turned deadly when a 24-year-old Algerian man grabbed onto a high-speed train leaving an Austrian station. Well, that sure sounds like it makes sense.
Yeah, it sounds like
probably
you're gonna lose your
for a
arm.
video or something. Anyway, As the train departed the station, the unnamed man leapt into the space between two carriages and began pounding on the windows. And that, of course, caused the conductor to hit the emergency brake. While it's unclear exactly how fast the train was traveling, because it can reach up to 143 miles per hour. The man miraculously survived the ordeal, but an Austrian railway spokesperson described his actions as irresponsible. I can think of a couple other words.
Stupid.
Warned that such stunts usually end up with someone dying. After the emergency stopped, the man was able to reboard the train headed to Vienna from Zurich. Oh my goodness. Though he faced a stern rebuke from the conductor. Now that should have been...
An arrest?
I don't know. I mean, something.
Kicked off? You're going to have to walk?
Well, okay, so to finish the story, police then took him into custody upon arrival 7 minutes later.
There we go.
In Vienna, so there you go.
Well, the fact they made it in 7 minutes.
I know. Boy.
That's crazy. That'd be
okay, yeah. And for what? Was he late? Did he just about miss the train?
Did he step out for a smoke and wasn't paying attention?
I don't know. Starbucks locations in South Korea, they're cracking down on customers setting up their workstations in their cafes, and you see that happen a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You go into Starbucks is famous for this. Everybody comes in with a laptop, and they just sit down and drink coffee for hours. Anyway, the company has posted notices banning the use of desktop or laptop computers. People are even going so far as to bring printers, power strips, and large partitions.
Wow.
That's outside reality, boy.
Table number 4 is my cubicle.
Oh, my goodness. Customers will also not be allowed to leave belongings unattended for extended periods. What, when they have to go out and take a meeting someplace?
Yeah.
And then come back to their Starbucks office? Anyway, they have names for these people who spend hours studying or working in the cafes, taking up excessive space. While laptops are still permitted, Starbucks in Korea is seeking to address complaints from other customers about these cafe squatters and their extensive setups.
Yeah.
Can you imagine coming in with a printer and to take it all the way to the top, a barrier or, to bring in partition walls? The company says people are welcome to work or study, but must avoid monopolizing the space.
Yep.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I'm guessing this is you. 55% of people skip lunch on hectic days to get more work done.
Yep.
That's you, isn't it?
Sometimes I will skip lunch entirely. Otherwise, I'll just run and hit one of the...
grab something
Grab
quick.
something and then I'm back.
Yeah, and I have done a little too much of that lately. But what I find is if I don't eat lunch, I am so starved when I get home for dinner that I get in the house and I could eat the doors right off the cupboards, Yeah. And I basically have a meal before my meal. And so got to stop doing that. But you know what I went and got yesterday? And you and I have talked about seeing recipes on Facebook from time to time. And I saw something that really looked good, and I think it might have been a Weight Watchers deal. But it was a real light wrap.
Okay.
And inside the wrap was cottage cheese. And inside the cottage cheese, they mixed in fresh cucumbers and red, yellow peppers. And if you can add onions, you can add whatever you want in terms of vegetables.
Sounds interesting.
And then whatever seasoning you want, and then you just roll it up and eat it like a wrap. So yesterday, I thought, oh, that sounds really good. So deciding I'm going to make this thing at home, well, I don't have all the stuff. So I did some improv. And I think my improv is darn good.
Okay.
I'll have to send you. I even took a picture of it. It was so pretty. So I took a big leaf of lettuce. What am I trying to say? The 3 heads of
romaine.
Romaine. Yeah. Why can't I? Boy, sometimes I just can't put a rope around a word. romaine lettuce. So I took a big romaine leaf.
Okay.
And I didn't have cottage cheese, but I had whipped cream cheese. So I took a knife with whipped cream cheese and I just spread it right down the center of the lettuce leaf. And then I topped it with yellow, orange pepper, and cucumbers and some seasoning, wrapped it up and ate it. It was delicious. It was so good. And, relative, I didn't have much for protein in there. Should have had some protein probably. But you could add whatever you wanted to. And if I had the cottage cheese, at least there was a little protein in that.
Yeah.
But it was really, really good. So if you're looking for a light sandwich and you don't want all the bread, well, there you go. Romaine lettuce leaves.
For me, Uncrustables.
Yeah, I know. And it's so easy, especially when you're hungry and you're in a hurry, to grab that stuff. But I'm going to fill in the holes of the things I didn't have. But I'm going to stick with the romaine leaf.
Okay.
As instead of bread, because it was really good, and it's made the prettiest sandwich. I got to tell you, it looked good.
Okay.
So yeah, I should text it to you. You can show people. But yeah. So every once in a while, I was telling John about it last night, and I said, and look at this picture. I said, it's so pretty. And he goes, yeah, but was it good? And I could truly answer that yes, in fact, it was so good.
I've used romaine leaves for wraps before, and I mean, I'm not a big wrap person to start off with, but yeah, it just got too messy, and it didn't work for me.
do have to say, and here's the thing: when you're just adding a few vegetables, it doesn't get too big for the wrap.
Yeah.
So, okay, so here I sent it to you. You can show people how pretty it is if you want. Anyway, but it was just it surprisingly was satisfying,
It was.
Yeah, and so it was a good lunch. So now I've got all that stuff in the fridge, and that's probably what I'm going to have for lunch today, probably tomorrow, probably Thursday. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of fun. Once in a while, you find
if people can see that.
Okay.
So if you're watching on the video stream, you can see it, or
see
if
my
you're
pretty sandwich.
listening to it on the radio, you can watch it on the video stream later and see the pretty sandwich.
It's kind of pretty though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. And it was really good. And I used that. You and I have talked a lot about seasonings too, and you have a favorite, and so do I. And mine is called salt, pepper, garlic, and it's the coarse version of those three things. And that was just the perfect topping. The other topping that would have been good on this is that everything bagel seasoning.
Yeah, I think that would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been good too.
I think my favorite topping right now, I think that would have been good, meat church blanco, which is salt. It's a little finer though, the finer ground, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and butter powder.
Yeah. See, I think all those things would be, and so you just pick your favorite seasoning and shake it on top, and I don't know, and it was fast.
Yeah.
Which is another thing, because 55% of people are skipping lunch because they just plain don't have time for it. But again, if I don't eat lunch, I'm just absolutely ravenous when I get home, and it just
all this talk of food is
making you hungry.
I gotta have
know,
lunch
me
tonight.
too. I actually made 2 fried eggs this morning.
Yeah.
And I had bacon that was already done that I just had to heat up. So I had a couple of strips of bacon and 2 eggs. It tasted pretty good. But here's the funny part. So you eat breakfast.
Yep.
And by this time, 10:30, I am starving.
I usually don't eat breakfast unless I'm in the morning. If I'm doing the morning show or if I'm doing news, then I'll need a little breakfast, a little something.
Yeah.
But when I come in at
This is
8,
about the
I'm
time
fine.
I'd actually like to eat breakfast.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hopefully somebody's eating breakfast while listening to
I
us.
bet they
going,
are. I bet
I'm
they
having
are.
a bite of the sandwich in honor of you guys.
Okay. Okay, so here's a headline that we better follow up on. Researchers are blown away this ancient hack for snoring. So, if you have a snorer at home, let's see. A promising new treatment for snoring and sleep apnea has emerged. The ancient practice of blowing through a conch shell.
Huh?
I know. Everyone grab your conch shell. A small study, this is in India, found that there were 30 people in the study, so pretty small study. People with obstructive sleep apnea who practiced, they call it conch blowing or shank blowing for 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, experienced significant improvements. After 6 months, they were 34% less sleepy during the day and had better sleep quality at night. Experts explain that the deep inhalation and forceful exhalation through the shell strengthens the upper airway muscles, preventing the collapse that causes apnea and snoring. If you think about that, that kind of makes sense.
Kind of makes sense. I got to grab the conch shell and give that a shot.
Yeah. It says for 15 minutes a day. I don't know if that is like in one shot or if you do it 5 minutes at a time. Anyway, the unique spiral structure of the shell may also contribute acoustically. Unlike the current standard treatment of CPAP machines, this ancient technique is simple, low cost, and medication-free. Researchers are now planning a larger trial to further assess its benefits, including for those with the most severe sleep apnea. I feel like sleep apnea is the latest trend.
Yeah.
And I realize a lot of people suffer from it. I'm not taking anything away from you. But I feel like everybody I know, it's like if you have a couch in your living room, you have a CPAP in your bedroom. I mean, everybody has them.
Yeah, I mean, Jen suffers from sleep apnea, but I'll go on a limb and say that she snores, and she wakes herself up and couldn't sleep through the night because of it. So I couldn't get used to that on my face. With all of the technology, I just can't believe there isn't a better option. There is a thing where I've seen commercials where you do the chest.
that's you have to insert that. You have to have it's a surgical procedure.
Ooh.
And I am not going to introduce a device.
You don't need.
Maybe. I mean, and people swear by it. I don't know.
I don't
that
know.
scares me.
I've just seen commercials for it.
I know. If you don't need to, I know.
Sleep apnea is fatal.
It is.
So
So
it killed a legend, our Packers legend, Reggie White, died of sleep apnea.
Yep. So maybe it's like having a pacemaker installed or something. I mean, if it were to save your life, and you know me, I'm just.
But Jen's got the nose hose and works for her.
The nose hose.
That's what I call it, the nose hose. So, but it works. I sleep better because she's not snoring, and there used to be a contest between Jack and Jen to see who could snore the most, and I'd have one on one side of me and the other on the other side of me, and I'd be awake.
Do you think you snore?
I snore on occasion.
Okay.
But a lot of the times I am very, very, very quiet.
Okay.
I'm just kind of dead to the world.
Okay, we had a listener send us a picture of some food because they said, you are making everyone hungry.
Sorry about that.
And this is called, so a stuffed pool ball zucchini.
You lost me on zucchini.
Kind of me too. I will eat zucchini. We had kebabs of onion, zucchini.
I guess, I'll have it on a kebab.
Green pepper, red pepper, and grill them. That was great last night. I loved that. But he says this. He said they're delicious, and they're called taco meat stuffed pool ball zucchini.
Okay, you had me on taco meat.
Okay, so if you add anything that has any flavor to zucchini,
it tastes good.
Yeah, I mean, because zucchini isn't, unless you do something to it, doesn't.
It's like tofu.
But they're really kind of cute too. It's like this little round ball with a little green top on it. Looks like a baby pumpkin, only it's yellow, and then it's filled with taco meat and cheese. I'm guessing.
Okay.
Looks like there's a little cheese on the top there. Anyway, they do look really, really good. So yeah, thanks for sending that.
If you want a really quick, easy, I guess it'd probably be more of an appetizer or snack. But if you take a Cheddar Bay biscuit mix, the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits, then you take a pound of cheese and then a pound of ground meat, and then just mix it all together. And
you had me at biscuits.
And then bake those up. Those are good.
Okay.
So it's beefy, cheesy, biscuity goodness.
Okay, I'm gonna, just so we don't make him feel bad. If you got to see my sandwich, we should really see his.
Okay.
So here you go. Here come the, what does he call them? Let's see. I got to go back to that text. pool ball zucchini. I've never heard of that, but anyway. So yeah, sorry, we're making everybody hungry because you got a couple hours until lunchtime. So
it looks suspiciously like squash.
I thought they were squash too, but it is a little round zucchini. So here it is. There's a look at the pool ball zucchini filled with taco meat and cheese. Why not? I like zucchini. I mean, as long as you pair it with something else. I love grilled vegetables. And I picked up a couple of, they were ready-made, so super lazy, but whatever. A bunch of vegetables, raw vegetables on a kebab, and we had those last night, and it was such a good side.
Okay.
I made a couple of chicken breasts and add that as a side. It was so good, and I kind of feel good after I eat.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lot because it's that whole kebab stick full of fresh vegetables. So you get full.
Yeah.
But you don't feel so bad afterward.
Our feel good today, though, could be, chops, hops, and bingo tonight.
Yes.
Get out there. Speece Riverfront Park from 5 to 7:30. It's going to be fun. Underwood pork chops. All-state beer. Bingo. I think the Elizabeth Lyons are the ones doing the bingo, and it's going to be an absolute blast. And hope
and
to
a
see everybody
beautiful
there.
night. So we hope,
it's gorgeous.
and a great cause too.
And a great cause,
so,
yeah.
All right, coming up on 10 o'clock, that is going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us. Our show today and every day is brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great day.